Hello, Rabbi Mullet. So Jason, 10 minutes ago, said, give me 5 minutes. So I gave him 5 minutes. So I'm giving him 5 minutes. 10 minutes ago. He's been in India, and now he's back. Mm. I got blocked on Twitter by Glenn Greenwald. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Chutzpah Yisaga. I don't know what Yisaga means. Chutzpah Yisaga. Too much chutzpah? Let's see if I can. Well, Google Translate's not going to help, but we'll try that. Chutzpah Yisaga. Yeah. Whatchamacallit has no idea. Google Translate has no idea. Chutzpah Yiskeh. I see. So the Mishnah in Sota 9:15. Let's pull up the Mishnah Sota. Yaskeh. Chutzpah will increase. Yes. It's like saying, well, what chutzpah? Yeah, I found the Mishnah. Mishnah. There's Jason.
Yeah.
Jason, Rabbi Mullet is saying you have incredible chutzpah. Incredible chutzpah. How could you have so much chutzpah, Jason?
Chutzpah's not a good thing, is it?
Chutzpah,
is it good?
It's audacity. So I was actually about to pull up the Mishnah that talks about how when the Messiah comes, what happened here? When the Messiah is about to come, there will be incredible amounts of chutzpah, and that's where Rabbi Mullet.
So I'm just preparing the way for Messiah.
You are. Where is it? In the footsteps of the Messiah, insolence. I forgot to make this visible to people. There it is. Okay. In the footsteps of the Messiah, insolence will increase. That's chutzpah yiskeh. And the cost of living will go up greatly. How did they know about President Biden? The vine will yield its fruit, but wine will be expensive. The government will turn to heresy. How'd they know about President Biden? And there will be no one to rebuke. The meeting place of scholars will be used for licentiousness. Already happened. The Galilee will be destroyed. Oive. The Gablan will be desolate. I don't know where Gablan is. Where is Gablan? Gablan. I have no idea where Gablan is. And the dwellers of the frontier will go about begging from place to place without anyone to take pity on them. The wisdom of the learned will rot. Those who fear sin will be despised, and the truth will be lacking. Youths will put old men to shame. The old will stand up in the presence of the young. For son spurns father, daughter rises up against mother, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. A man's own household are his enemies. Micah 7:6. The face of the generation will be like the face of a dog. A son will not feel ashamed before his father. Upon whom shall we depend? Upon our Father who is in heaven.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yes.
So
Rabbi says it's another name for the Golan. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How was India?
It was amazing. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. I didn't want to come home.
You didn't want to come home.
No, I wanted to stay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was really nice. I stayed for almost yeah, it was the best trip I've had there so far, I think.
Did you get married?
No, but they actually were pushing for it. They kept saying, they said, Jason, I said, I'm 35, I'm too old. And they said, no, that's the prime age for getting married in India. And they said, we'll find you a wife. So
yeah. Did you go on any dates?
No.
Why did you not go on any dates?
I don't know.
You should have.
I did get a haircut while I was there, though. So.
You got a haircut, but did not go on a date.
I thought it would help get me a date, but it didn't. So.
Hold on.
I'm just kidding.
Did you want to go on dates and you couldn't get a date? Yeah,
no,
I didn't think that was the problem.
No, I just spent time hanging out with the kids there. I mean, they kind of range from all ages. The youngest one is 7, and then the oldest one's, I think, like 23 or something. So 23?
That's perfect. Yeah. Why did you ask her to marry you?
It's a guy. Yeah. There were some. I mean, there's girls there. They said they could find me a girl, but I was like, oh.
But you were
it was surprising because you talked it up before I went there, and then after I got there, they were like, hey, you should
I'm
get
telling
married at this age.
You could have gotten married.
I probably could have. Yeah, I'll have to get married if I want to live there. So, because with my visa, I can only stay 6 months out of the year. So, if I actually live there,
what would you do if you were living there, though? No, see, and most of the people who want to marry you so they can come to the United States.
Exactly. Yeah. So there goes all my power. I'll be like, what am I marrying you for? I want to stay in India.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. What I would do, I guess I'd just do what I do right now for my dad. I just will do it remotely.
See, Sandy says, just think of all the little Jasons you could have.
Gosh, that'd be too much chutzpah.
It would not be chutzpah at all. And you mentioned somebody who shall not be named is getting married. And I thought about like covertly saying, finally, somebody's going to marry the mother of his child. And then I realized, oh, that could be somebody else because people might think that's Antonio.
Well, he told me,
and I realized
asked him if his wedding was a secret.
We have a lot of people in this little corner who are like having children out of wedlock. I blame Paul Vanderklay.
Yeah. Why do you blame him?
Why not?
What did he do? All right.
Who else am I going to blame?
Sounds good. Let's blame him.
Who would you blame if not Paul Vanderklay?
I don't know. He started this whole thing.
He did.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I haven't had any children out of wedlock, so.
Me neither.
That happening.
That I know of.
Yeah. So it can't be us. Yeah, it's got to be him.
So what'd you do in India?
Yeah, not much of anything. Well, I mean, I hung out with them. Basically, I was there almost a month. So the first 3 weeks I was there, I just went to hang out with them. And then the last week was when my sister planned for my brother-in-law and our friend Hope to come with their ministry, the Car Project. So the first 3 weeks, it was basically just kind of hanging out with them. We just go out and roam. They call it roaming, walking around. They just call it roaming. So we just go roam around and just, I don't know. Sometimes we get ice cream, we get soda. We just living the dream. One time we went swimming in December. That was kind of fun, and cold, but it was warm enough to do it. Yeah, I was just kind of doing something different every day, but mostly just spending time with them and hanging out. And then when Micah and Hope got there, then the plan that we had originally planned kind of got shut down, so we didn't get to do a lot of stuff we had planned, but we still got with the kids, and so we had they had a big Christmas party where so basically there's like the hostel that the lady Naomi had set up. Her and her husband started this ministry, and it's kind of a hostel for where the kids will come and stay, and they'll do schooling and stuff like that. And there's about maybe 15 kids that stay there, but then there's also a nearby village where there's probably about, I think, 70 kids. And so that one of the days, like all the 70 kids from the village came down, and we had like a big Christmas party and everything. And then, but most of the time when I was there, the first week I was there, my hotel got canceled, so I spent every day I stayed at the hostel like with them, and so I could just get up, and while they were studying their school in the morning, I'd just like read my Bible or something, and then I would just go hang out in the afternoon. Yeah, and then when Mike and Hope got there, then we had that Christmas party, and then we did we had s'mores one night. We had some movie nights. I don't know, just basically just got to spend time with them because they kind of have like everything they need, like they have their schooling, they have like shelter, they have food, thing and stuff, but they really just kind of, I think, just need friendship and attention and stuff, because I don't think they always get a lot of that, and a lot of times they're bored, just kind of hanging out in the compound, not much to do.
So this is in a Christian area of India?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprisingly a lot more Christian than I would have thought. Yeah, there's like a bunch of churches, probably
there are parts of India that are Christian.
Yeah, this there's all sorts of different denominations, like just right down the road. You go out of her compound and literally probably 50 feet down the road is a church where I went, I think, 3 times when I was there. I did play banjo once in their service, so they had me play banjo and
in a church service.
In church service in India. Yep.
How could you? Oh my God! A banjo in a church service.
Yeah, I took a banjo there, so I left it there because last time I went, I brought my banjo, and they seemed to really like it, and so. Well, the kids at the hostel really liked it, and so I bought just cheap one, and took it with me so I could leave it there this time, because I don't think they can really get them in India. I don't know. I don't think they're really having for sale very often over there. So
God hates banjos.
Yeah, I believe it. So yeah, I don't know. It was fun. It was it was a lot of fun. A lot of food, a lot of rice, a lot of curry. But there was, like I said, there was just we just kind of hung out. We go roaming. But then there was also with all the churches around and it being Christmas time, there was always something going on too. One Sunday we went to a Christmas party. They had a big feast at the church. And then the next Sunday it was kind of the same thing. And then go to service sometimes. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. One day we went and saw the temple. There was I didn't even know there was a temple nearby, but we just basically walked to it. And
a temple to which god?
Shoot, I don't know.
Now you're participating in idolatry.
There was, at the top, there was a big archway, and there was, I know Ganesh was in the middle, and the two on the left, I don't know what gods they were. Ganesh is the elephant god, but I don't know if the temple is dedicated to him. I don't know who the temple is dedicated
Most
to.
Hindu temples have statue of Ganesh up front,
Yeah.
regardless
I
of the
don't.
god. But it's probably so. It sounds like it might have been to Shiva. Were there any temple prostitutes?
That's not that I know of. There are a bunch of monkeys. I got to feed a monkey some peas out of my hand.
Mm.
I'm not really
Yeah.
fond of the monkeys though. They're kind of annoying and mean.
So
They're not nice.
there's a really horrible sex slavery trade in um, temple prostitution in India.
That's not good.
Nope,
It's despicable.
it is.
Yeah, I
It-
didn't see anything like that.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that would even really cause alarm. I don't think it just looked like a couple people were praying. That was about it. Then there was like a river that flowed around the temple, and as you went up further, you kept going. And there were a bunch of urns that they'd set in the river, where I guess like they just put the ashes of a deceased one.
Mm.
They just urn there, and I guess whenever it floods, it carries their ashes away. Oh.
So what you're telling me is, if you moved to India, you'd become an idolater.
Probably. Actually, probably not. I feel like I'm more of an idolater here. Like, it's weird. I go to
Really?
India, I could like the Hindu stories and the Hindu gods kind of interest me. But then when I like the whole time I was in India, I could kind of care less. Like I said, I was just like just hanging out and living life, and all that stuff was just kind of like, I don't really care. It's a whole different vibe too over there. It's like there's it feels different. Like when you get around like those, I guess those different gods or whatever, the places of worship, it's a different vibe. I don't think I would be into it very much at all. I still am interested in the stories. Like some of the stories are just, I mean, they're fun, and I think some of them are incredibly profound too. But yeah, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of gods.
Jason,
which one do you pick? You know,
I don't even know if you're a Christian, Jason.
no one does. No one does anymore.
No one. So are you going to the wedding?
No, because I don't know that I was invited. So I'm just kind of assuming it's probably a small wedding. So yeah. So I wasn't really planning on it. I just
So
yeah,
this person who shall not be named,
we can name him. He said I could spill the beans.
For some reason, he has like the opposite circadian rhythm to me. Like when I'm awake, he's asleep. When he's asleep, I'm awake.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah, and it's like God has made it so that the two of us end up never talking to each other. Like almost. We've talked to each other a couple of times.
I'll see if I can. I mean, it's what it's 8 o'clock here, so it's only 7 o'clock. Let me see if he's doing anything. No.
He's getting married this week. He might be busy.
Nah, he can't be that busy. Right?
Yeah, why would he be busy around his wedding?
That's the girls playing all that stuff. He just chills. Yeah, but he said, I asked him if his wedding was a secret, if I could spill the beans, and he said, spill the beans. So I was like, everybody buy him a gift. So
everybody.
Yep. We'll see if he joins us. I don't know. He might not. But
Sandy says he's getting married this week. She's probably busy.
Yep.
It's not to mention they have a kid.
They do. Everybody's saying God loves banjos on here, you know?
They're liars. God hates banjos.
I like the banjo.
And apparently Josh also had a kid out of wedlock.
Oh, how simple. I'm just kidding.
Very, very.
We can blame Paul Vanderklay.
It's all Paul Vanderklay's fault.
Yeah.
If it wasn't because of him, people would not be living in sin like they are.
I know. So what have you been up to this past month since I've been gone? I kind of fell off the map.
Well, I've been having Bible studies without you because you're not here. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Sorry. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I bought this Starlink satellite from Elon Musk. I'm just gonna out him. Like, I need to write a review because I paid. It was mobile one that I got because I just bought an RV as well, and so you can either do national or global. So I paid like it was like $200 a month to do global. So I was like, I'm gonna take this thing with me to India so I can have internet the whole time in India. It did not work at all in India. So yeah, it's false advertising. It is Elon Musk, right? I don't even remember.
It is Elon Musk who does Starlink, yeah.
So
yeah,
cool on that. But in this country, it's worked great. It's actually really, really nice having it. So, but it didn't work in India, so I didn't have internet. So yeah, I wasn't there for the Bible studies. I did have internet at the hotel, but it was just like I said, I was with the kids like all day. So I'd basically go back to the hotel, do a little bit of work for my dad, and then just crash for like I was getting not very much sleep every night. But anyway, you were sorry to interrupt. You were doing Bible studies without me. How were those?
That's about
going?
it. What? That's about it.
You didn't celebrate Christmas?
I've been doing I've been like kind of busy with school and internships and stuff. Rabbi Mullet says Voldemort. No, but actually, Cal's name is the name of a whatchamacallit, is the name of a deity, of a Hindu deity. So
Kalia.
Like maybe we shouldn't even say his name. Branchia is from Italy and is wondering if we have an open panel. Should I let Branchia in on the judge stand?
Sure.
I don't have my StreamYard set up to like do the StreamYard link. I will put the link in the channel, in the thing.
Branchia, Italy. Kalia. What is Kalia? What deity is that? I can't remember. He's told me before. I don't think it's.
Didn't he say like his name is Kalia Krishna or something?
Then maybe that's it. I thought it had something to do with Krishna, because I know
something like that.
His dad. I think he said his father used to be Catholic, and then Hare Krishna. It's funny.
Branchia, do you mind raising your left hand? Left hand. Yay! It's actually you. Hello. I just have to make
hello,
sure.
Guys. I'm sorry, I'm not a bot.
Yeah. So you're from Italy? Where in Italy?
Yeah. Actually, in the middle. I'm from Ancona. Is one of the Middle East coast. You know.
Okay, so when I was a kid, for 2 months, I lived in Ladispoli.
Ladispoli. Okay. Yeah. Is in the Latium.
It's in near
Latium.
Rome.
Near Rome, yeah, is the region of the Rome. Yeah. I know.
So I was a refugee waiting to be allowed into the United States. Yeah. So Ladispoli is one of the places where a lot of refugees wait.
And you like Ladispoli and Italy, you know.
I loved Italy. Like when I was a little kid, and once we were refugees. When we were refugees in Turkey, my mom didn't know how long, and she only had the money that she had. So she had to be really tight on the money and stuff. And then we got accepted into a refugee program, and they took us to Italy, and they were paying our expenses. So my mom didn't feel so she would take us to the museum a lot. So I spent 2 months in Italy just going from museum to museum. And I learned a tiny bit of Italian. Quanto costi il gelato? Did I say that correctly?
How much the ice cream? You know.
I was 6 years old. Come on, what else?
Yeah. It's one of the most important thing. If you have a 6 year, you have to know the ice cream, how much the ice cream.
Yeah. So this is 40 years ago. I don't know if it's still the same, but it was very interesting that the elevators, you had to have tokens to use the elevators. I don't know if you still have to.
Maybe in some parts, but no, I never use tokens for use the elevator. No,
Yeah.
it's not. But yeah, I know that in some part, sometimes
40 years ago, that
40,
was
yeah,
the thing.
40 euros is a lot, is a lot.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I can understand this.
tell us about yourselves, Brankia. How'd you find into this channel? Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Branchi. I'm from Italy. I like music, and I'm scrolling on Twitch, and I found your channel, and I I searching to speak with peoples,
Okay.
and a lot of channel they are like no, I'm scared about new peoples, and oh, who is this Branchia from Italy?
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that you make me come in the conversation.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome. The only thing I have to sometimes we do get porn bombers. Like people come on and then they change that suddenly they put porn
Ah.
on screen. Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
I'm not one of those.
So how old are you, Brankia?
I'm 30,
30.
3 and
Okay.
0, 30,
Okay.
30. It's really difficult to pronounce it. 30, 30.
Yeah. Well, the th sounds. There's no th sound in Italian, right? You guys,
What?
there's no
No,
sound.
no, we
Yeah.
we don't have the thing.
Yeah.
thing.
So what do you do?
I'm a normal person. You see all these instruments in my
You play all
background.
of them?
Yeah, yeah. I play all of them.
Wow.
But I work in a factory.
Okay.
It's not my work. I'm not a real musician. I do this only for a hobby. I like
Mhm.
to playing instruments with my friends. I am a drummer. I'm a drummer,
Mhm.
and I play drum. I also like other instruments, but my real work is in a factory. Capitalism. Bang, 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 bang. thing.
Sounds good. Yeah. Jason plays the banjo.
Oh wow, banjo! Wow,
Yeah, that's
it's a really
crazy.
cool instrument. Congratulations.
See, it is cool. Except God hates it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's a fun instrument. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a band, but we were always looking for a drummer. We finally got one this year, but drummers are hard to
Okay.
come
I'm
by.
here. I'm here. I really a really good set for country music. With I have some friends that playing country music, and I doing on a and and the guy I don't know how to explain this. Maybe it's too difficult right now, but I really appreciate your instrument. I really like banjo. I think I never play with someone who play banjo, and maybe in Italy is particular. You live in the state, Jason.
Yeah,
You from the okay, and it's like a typical instrument.
yeah, it's pretty tough.
Especially in Tennessee.
Yeah, where I am. Yeah,
Yep.
yep. Appalachian Mountains. Yeah, it's a folk instrument. So, what kind of music do you play?
I play. I depend. I'm a drummer, so depend who the others people playing. But
Yeah.
I like to play. My favorite kind of music is like funk. And thing I like funkier things, tum, tu, ta, tum, tu, tu. But I love to play blues. I love to play country. I love to play pop music, and
That's cool.
and swing. I also I really like swing.
That's cool. So do you play at
That's
bars? Like, how, do you just like play live music, or do you record stuff? What do you?
we I play. Yeah, I also record stuff, and playing in my room. I have my setup and can play here. But I started. I bought this little drum set that you can see here. Is very little,
Yeah.
and I play. Basking. I play in the street with my friends.
Oh.
Oh
We
wow.
Oh,
have
that's cool.
and
Yeah, street performers. Yeah,
yeah.
busking. I learned busking when I went to London, and
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I I constantly saw there were signs that said no busking with somebody playing an instrument near them. So I'm
Yeah.
like wondering what busking is, and I thought it was like annoying the musicians or something like that. I found out busking is when you're a street performer and asking for money by playing. So like everywhere it said no busking, there was a busker right there.
Okay. 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 But this is a bad thing because I love to see people's playing. But it's true that sometimes people who playing is not good. Sometimes it is only
Yeah, I
you
mean, if
playing
they're playing an
with
instrument,
yourself is I don't know.
if they're
But
if they're playing an
when
instrument, it's fine. Like,
when
yeah,
I go with this with my friends, I have a friend that is mother language. He speak a very good English. We make him blues. He's a bass player and he sing, and we making I think really cool things because people is above us, and people people like the music that we do, and this is a different thing, isn't I don't know how to explain that, but if you make good music, people will appreciate that, you
yeah,
know I make some money. I make this twice, but we make a lot of money because people like that
yeah.
things. If you make good music, but I don't need money, I have a work. I make this only for fun, only for a hobby. It's only a
Yeah,
hobby, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that people appreciate good music.
interesting. So, are you married? Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend. I stay with this girlfriend for 7 years, but we don't have kids, and maybe we will have kids. I don't know.
If you wait too long, you're not gonna have kids.
Maybe we
Yeah,
are 8 billion peoples. If we don't make kids, is no problem. We are too much in this world. But if we will do kids, I will enjoy it. But I like my relation with my girl. Also, if we don't have kids.
Never too old to have kids, Jacob. Never
yeah.
too old to have kids.
So you
You,
say, Billy. So you say.
I was
yeah.
34 years old before I had my first kid. You're never too old.
You adopted. Yes.
And who says it has to be natural born to have a young and at an old age?
I guess if I get married, I will have an opportunity to adopt. I don't know if it's a good idea to adopt if you're not married.
Why not?
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know.
2 parents is better than 1, I think.
True, but one parent's better than none.
This is
Uh,
true.
You know, my
Where did you
parents
adopt from?
have a divorce. I have 2 parents, but they divorced.
Mm.
But so you know, right now I have 8 parents. No, 4 parents and 8. But yeah.
Hey, Jason, what'd you say, bud?
Where did you adopt from?
Foster care.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. That's cool. I knew
Yeah.
you had done a lot of work with foster care. I imagine that's extremely hard.
I tell everybody it's the hardest and it's the hardest, the easiest, the best thing, the worst thing. It's take all the emotions and put them to 10, and that's what foster care is.
I believe
Having
you.
kids, that's
Well,
yeah.
Still, look, there is hundreds of thousands of kids across the United States, 15 to 18, that are in group homes that's got nowhere to go. And when they turn 18, they're out the group home on the street with nothing. So
That's what I considered, like a 15, 16-year-old, like maybe taking in a 16-year-old or something like that. That makes more sense. But I don't know. I maybe once I have my my life a little bit more straightened up. I don't know.
Well, if you wait till your life is perfect, then you'll never do it.
This is true. This is true. But at least maybe wait until I finish my degree. Yeah.
Roger
I have
that.
2 more years. Yeah.
Anyway, one thing I wanted to jump on, I want to say Happy New Year to all y'all. But you were talking about the blues. And one of the things that I have been craving is to find more musicians who's willing to turn the Psalms, all of the Psalms, into blues. There's a few songs out there that's pretty cool, but the more people that turn the Psalms into what it is, Southern blues, the happier I'll be.
Yeah. There's not enough of the Psalms are, I think not enough people realize that the Psalms are musical. Like in English, they're not as music. In translation, they're not as musical as they are in actuality. So
But the music is an international language. The blues is an international language. I can something right now. This is international. This is a way to express myself to you. I can sound more better than I speak. I speak very bad, but I can sound better.
your English is actually pretty
That's
good,
really good.
Brankia. Yeah. When did
Thank
you
you,
learn
thank you.
English?
I'm improving. I'm improving with people, with
Mhm.
peoples like you, and I see Breaking Bad in English. I see
Hey, that's
Breaking
how I
Bad.
learned English. Watching TV.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know what's really good for learning English? There's a
What?
there's a TV show called Price is Right. Okay?
Price is Right. Okay. I will.
And because they're constantly, they show things and they describe them and talk about how much, like So like they'll show, I don't know, a car, and they'll say it has these features and that feature, right? That's part of the thing. But like it was really good for learning English because like,
Wow.
okay, they're showing you a car and they're like, this is a car.
This is a good
You learn the word
advice.
car. Yeah.
This is a good advice.
Yeah, Price is Right. It was great. I mean, is the Price is Right still on television? You can probably find it online.
I don't know, but if in YouTube,
I'm
probably.
sure YouTube
Yeah.
has Price is Right. Yeah, Price is Right. Yeah. Full episodes.
Wow, full episode is very good.
Yeah, they have
It
full
sound
episodes
good.
on YouTube. So there you go. Yeah, they have their own channel. I found their channel here. The Price is Right has a YouTube channel. There you go. There's the link.
Thank you for the advice.
That's how I learned English when I was a little kid.
That makes sense.
You look to television.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of. I make a school, and we have a lot of English lessons, but this is very useful. Useless. Sorry. This is useless lesson. I learn English out of school.
Right.
The English lesson that we have to school is useless.
It's actually speaking English with people. Yeah, that's how you learn. Yeah.
I was trying to pick up on some Hindi before I went to India, but it's so hard. They don't even speak it over there. Like all the kids there know probably 5 different languages at least, and so most of the time they're not even speaking Hindi. Like they all know how to speak it. They'll speak like either their village language or like the state language, and then there's like Hindi, and then there's English, and so it's like I didn't even know what they were saying half the time.
Yeah, when I grew up, everybody spoke several languages. There were very few people who only spoke 1 or 2 languages. Yeah.
I need to get in the game, man. I gotta learn Hindi. I gotta learn Hebrew. I gotta learn all these different languages.
Italian.
I'm struggling just to speak my own language, though. I'm gonna stick with the broken English and try to get better at that.
Surprisingly, more Spanish came back to me while I was in India for some reason. I cannot remember Spanish for the life of me, but then as soon as I got to India, I was like, oh, I remember all this Spanish now for some reason. But I really don't know that much. It's just...
Yeah, so the languages I learned when I was a child, I don't get confused, but the languages I learned as a teenager, I confuse them. So like Farsi and English, I keep completely separate. But Spanish and Hebrew, every once in a while when I'm trying to speak Spanish or Hebrew, I'll confuse, I'll put words from one into the other, and it makes no sense.
Yeah. So sometimes I try to speak Spanish with people, but when I speak Spanish, because Spanish is very similar to Italian, but I have the problem that I speak English also. So when I speak Spanish, I confuse and I use English word on Spanish. Como estamos, my friends? And I make a mix that is very undecipherable.
So when I can't understand Italian so much when I'm listening to it, but because I know Spanish, I can read Italian not so hard. Yeah,
I can understand this. Also, I live in Ireland. I stay in Ireland for a few times, and I live with Brazilian people. and Portuguese people who speak Portuguese can understand Italians.
Yeah.
But we Italians can't understand Portuguese people. They have a superpower. That they can understand us, but we can't understand the Portuguese.
Well, part of that is because in Brazil they're surrounded by Spanish speaking language, so they listen to a lot of Spanish. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe also because the Spanish. I can understand Spanish
Mhm.
more or less. Maybe not all, but I can understand Spanish. But I can't speak Spanish.
Right.
And I hate this thing because sometimes I go on some conversation with Spanish peoples, and I understand everything, and and I want to speak, but I can't, and I speak English for the for explain myself, but they Spanish people don't speak English very well most of the times, and so
Yeah.
you know. But I think that English is one of the I really like English, speaking English and American. I really like the American way to say things, and I really
Interesting.
like that.
Yeah. So do you listen to a lot of music in English or mostly Italian or?
Both. But yes, I hear about I listen about a lot of English music. I'm saying English, but I mean Americans. But it's particular because it's not. You can't say American language is English. The American is English. You from America. You speak English,
Right.
but you have a different English. It's not a different accent. Is a different language, but is English, but is American English.
So this song, I only found out about it recently.
Bye.
It was an Italian song made in the 70s, which is supposed
Okay.
to sound like English, but it's not
Understand.
English at all. I'll play a few seconds of it, but like I'll get a copyright strike. But it's supposed to sound like English, but it's all gibberish, right? So I don't even know how to say
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah,
of it.
it's nothing. He's speaking nothing.
Yeah. So he's just speaking like gibberish. But
Yeah.
It's supposed to sound English, and
Yeah,
it became a very popular song. And it's not a
yeah.
bad song. Yeah.
In Italy, we really appreciate this artist. Is Adriano Celentano. Is the name of the artist, and he's very popular in Italy. He made this song, but he made a lot of Italian songs, very famous songs, and I like this song.
Yeah.
And
No, it's a
you
good
and you.
song. I would play it, but I'm going to get a copyright strike. Yeah.
It's a cool song. My mother used to listen, get to listen me to this, and I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I put the link
Adriano
in the
Celentano.
yeah, I put the link in the chat. So if you want to listen to it, yeah, yeah, it's just gibberish, but it's English. It's English gibberish by an Italian singer.
Yeah. And he is a very popular Italian one, you know. He is he's sing, but he is also actor in the in Italian films. Yeah, so he is very popular. He's not only the only one thing that he do. He is very popular. Everyone know this one, Adriano Celentano. Everyone know he, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's like Albano, but and you, what kind of music you like? Starting with Jacob.
I actually, it's funny. Recently, over the past few years, I've started listening to Persian music again. Like I like that's my childhood. I'm from Iran originally, and I've started listening to a lot to Persian music. Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
So,
that is
I mean, I like all kinds of music, most types of music. I like pop. I mean, I like blues. I
yeah.
like jazz. I like, you know, but I've started listening to Persian music and actually recently more classical music. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool, very cool. And you,
Oh,
Jason?
yeah.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah. Jason. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was texting. We're currently trying to book a show, actually. But yeah, I like all sorts of music. Right now, because I basically play like kind of folk indie music, so I listen to a lot of that. I kind of been listening to more of that too. Just kind of that's because the genre I'm in, I guess. But I like all sorts of stuff. I like Indian music too. I didn't really used to, but it's grown on me a lot. Find it a lot more intriguing now. I think my favorite
Sorry, one
band
second.
is
You
probably
talk about indie or
No,
Indian?
Indian.
Indian,
Indian.
like the
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Bollywood.
But I play like kind of, I guess you call it folk indie or something. I don't really know what you describe it as. It used to be more folk, but then I don't know what it is now. But my favorite band is probably Modest Mouse, if I had to pick one. So, and they're not really folk at all, though. I don't know what you call them.
Okay. I don't care about the gender of the music, you know.
But I mean, I like all sorts of stuff. I don't really like mainstream country all that much, though, to be honest. And I don't mind rap. I just don't listen to a lot of rap, but I don't have anything against it. I don't know. And I've listened to some Persian music, the stuff Jacob has sent me, but not a whole lot. So. And it's very good as well.
I actually have to go. Jason, you can keep this going as long as you want. Bronchia, you're very welcome. You're always welcome to come back if you want. Jason's gonna probably I don't know. Are you gonna keep this going, Jason?
I can for a little bit. I probably won't go too much longer.
Okay. So I have to go, but it was very nice meeting you, Bronchia. And if you decide to ever come back, my channel's mostly on YouTube, but I also do Twitch as well. And you're always welcome back.
I will. Thank you for your hospitality. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
And so, my friend, I go also me. I go somewhere,
Okay.
but I want to say that in the Indian music, I study a little bit of Indian music. You know, they have some rhythmic things. They have, you know, like they the we in Occident, we in the occidental thing, we take 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1. We have this kind of music with 1 2 3 4, but Indian people have really particular things, and they doing like 1 2 and I really like I really
Same here. I really enjoy
I
it.
trying to discovering these things is very difficult, you know. It's like
Is it
what
called like
what
tantra or something? Like, because they do
the
they have like some
tantra.
weird drumming stuff too. That's I know you said you're a drummer, but they have like
Yeah, no,
their drumming is
this is the rhythm things of
yeah,
the, you know, maybe
the
the
rhythm.
Indian people have also popular music that is going more or less straight, you know, tan 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 tan
Yeah,
tan tan, but they use these things and it's very particular. Is a very good kind of music, you know. I like funky music, blues music, but I also listen to Indian music sometimes, and wow,
yeah. It's
they have some rhythmicals and melodical things, because if we start to speaking about the melodical things that the Indian use, you know, is very, you know,
yeah,
we use 7 notes, they use 20 notes, and
yeah,
I really appreciate that.
yeah. Same here. I've been yeah. I think that's why I've been more and more drawn to it because the vocal control they have is just crazy,
Yeah,
and you can tell they have a lot more notes. Yeah, it's really cool. Um, yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't know who this comment. So I don't know. Before, well, you mean you can go if you need to at any time. I'll probably head out too in a minute, but I don't know who this is, but I would be willing to talk to you whenever. Is it still Billy Ray? I don't know who Common Homestead is. Uh,
Wow, no, this is a bad comment.
oh,
This
it
is
is
a
Billy
bad
Ray. Okay,
comment.
that's a bad comment. No, my sister.
No,
This is
I don't know. Maybe I don't. I don't. I maybe I. You know, I don't read good, but I would like to talk sometimes about the work you've done with your sisters. In what
yeah.
sense? Is for you? Is you done some
From
work with your sister? With your sister?
my
Ah,
so
okay,
this is
okay.
Billy Ray that was on just a second ago with us. He's done work in foster care, and my oldest, I have 3 sisters.
I'm
My
sorry.
oldest sister has a ministry helping with trying to help with
Ah,
kids.
okay, okay. I'm sorry. I made a gaff. I'm sorry, my friend.
No, no, you're fine. You're cool. Yeah, reach out to me anytime. I'll I mean I'm sure we can find each other. I'm connected through Jacob. I'm on his Discord, whatever. Um, give you my email
But
anyway. But
what is this ride over here? You know, we are on the StreamYard. There is some, I think, a particular reading a message over there and up there.
yeah, can you
What
see the
they
messages
mean?
on those?
What they mean?
Wait, what do you? Can you see the messages on your screen? The comments?
No, not the comments. You know, it's difficult to explain. I'm seeing right now. Also, if you don't use the comment that you see, that there is um
Oh, at the
uh,
top of the
uh
screen, above us and below us.
uh, uh, uh.
Oh yeah, that's Hebrew. This is because we're on Jacob's channel, so the background. I don't know how.
Okay. Jacob's channels is
Yeah, I think
the
that's a
meaning.
I think that's a tetragrammaton. Like I think that's a Yod He Vod He. Is that how you pronounce it? I think that's the name of God. In Hebrew. Let me see if I can find the picture. Uh, where is it? He leaves me to do this. I'm pretty sure it's that. Yeah. So I don't know if this is. So that's I think it's basically
okay,
this.
okay.
There's Sandy.
Hey,
Sandy can explain
Wow.
it for sure.
hey,
Hey.
Jason. I just thought I'd pop in for a minute. I'm actually working on some writing, but
Oh, good. Nice.
yeah.
Hi,
This is Sandy. She gets on here quite a bit too.
Hi,
We're
Sandy.
gonna-
Hi, Sandy. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Yeah, those are the what is it? Yod He Vav He. So that's which they
Yeah, there it
pronounce
is.
as Adonai, even though that's not how, because they don't say the name of God.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the background he
So
uses. This is
basically,
the
this one word repeated across both directions, like just well from right to left on both top and bottom, just repeated. Yeah, that.
oh,
Yeah, that's good. It's
So-
good.
yeah. So yeah, on Jacob's channel we do like where he was saying earlier. Normally every week he does a Hebrew Bible study. I think it's Saturday still, right? But I've missed the past like month and a half, maybe more.
Yeah.
Yeah, every
And Max did some, and it was 10 o'clock instead of midnight Eastern Standard Time. So I'm not clear what the time is, but it's somewhere in the middle of the night in North America on the
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah. So if you ever want to tune into that, yeah, basically he just cracks open the scriptures and goes through the Hebrew and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting.
And
If
with you
you-
gone, that
if
lasts
you're
about 5 minutes, and then they talk.
Yeah.
And
so you're always welcome
where are
to
you
join.
from? Can I say where are you from, Sandy?
Canada.
Canada. Ah, wow. It's not America. Canada is not America, or yes, I don't know.
It
I don't
depends on
know.
whether you're asking Americans or Canadians.
okay.
What do
okay.
Canadians say then?
What? Well, it is part of North America, but I've had people refer to like being American because we're part of North America. It's part of America. So, or other people just simply deny that we exist because, we're on the wrong side of the border.
Okay. Okay. I think that Canadian people is, the kindest people on America.
Not right now.
Not right now. Ah, okay.
In a
Okay.
weird world, you kind of discover that people here have tempers, and I'm like, what is wrong with people?
Okay, but you can have this problem, all around the world, and so also in Italy, sometimes I see what the problem with these people, but in Italy, more or less, we are good people, and I hear about Canadian people like good peoples, and
It's
easy people.
These are good people. I mean, Sandy's a good person.
I keep
She's
hearing
good
that. Yeah, I'm good people. Apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get told I'm kind, so yeah.
Out there in the USA, they have a lot of problems with guns, with a lot of problems, and I wanted to ask this question to American people, but I see a lot of. I know that is normal, is a normal question, but I hate racism, and I see that people in the USA got a lot of difference. They talking about a lot of difference for the color of the skin. I talk about this with also very black people and very white peoples, and I talk about that because I hate this kind of difference. And it's true. You have this in the US. No, you are not from the USA, but okay. But
Yes, it is. And we have it here too sometimes, in the news now, like Toronto. I'm in Ontario, so Toronto, one of the big cities. There's a lot more gun violence than there used to be. So, you know,
Wow, it's not a good thing. But I don't want to say in Italy we have this problem too because people from Africa going to here from Libya, they going for here, and the much of the people accolgono. Sorry, I don't have the English word. Much of the peoples enjoy, but there is some peoples that say, no, black peoples coming in our place is not good, and I hate this thing.
That's funny how much I live in a small town. Well, no, a small city. I don't know what it is. There's about 30,000 here. And but it's on the edge of farm country. You know, it's outside of Toronto, you know, a couple of steps outside of Toronto. And when I first moved here, it's actually an interesting place. I got a job at a great big retail store, and everybody who came shopping was either seemed to be, well, there was three groups of people. There were people who kind of dressed in what I thought of as normal clothes. And then there was a group of people who were completely covered in tattoos. And then there was the Mennonites of every stripe, anywhere from, you know, like completely black, look like 100 years ago costume. They come in the horse and buggies and stuff, all the way up to all the modern color, you know, more colorful clothing. So I live in a very weird place. But when there was more of a housing burst and people started moving into the area from over Toronto ways and stuff, it absolutely shocked me that in this town where you could have this broad range of people that just simply mingled in the stores, and all I can think is they just didn't notice each other. People were rude. I mean, I'm born in Toronto. I kind of inched my way out and all around it. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And why are you being rude to people that I work with and were hired? Because we're getting a lot of immigrants in from India, Pakistan. Actually, I don't know, but I know people who've told me where they come from. Somewhere we have a map and it looks like, you know, there's a few spots in the world we need to take over yet, but you know, we have employees pretty much.
Yeah, I understand it. Maybe I have utopic ideas, but I dream about a world that we have no difference about who we are, how our forms and how our skin color. I don't. I don't.
The only problem with utopia is all the people you got to get rid of to have your utopia.
What? Sorry.
Utopia. How would you describe utopia?
Utopia. Sorry. I make a mistake with Ethiopia. Because Italian people in the past years go to Ethiopia to colonize and making things like that. But you know, I'm Italian and I don't do anything. You know, maybe in the past they do something wrong. But I don't want to be what is the past. You know, I want to be the future, not the past. So I hate that maybe someone see me. I have a lot of friends from around the world, from China. I have a Japanese friend. My best friend is from Tunisia, and I hate when we talk. They maybe tell me, you are white. You have to know that you're people. It's not my people, you know. I am me, and stop. So this is my Discord. This is my discussion. Sorry, I explained myself very bad. I'm sorry. Speak
No,
something.
no, I understand.
Thank you, thank you.
I heard. So, good.
So hi Josh. Hi Josh.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you. And where are you from? Where are you from?
Colorado, USA.
Colorado. Wow. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, down in the corner near the Four Corners area, near Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona area. Little town called Cortez.
Utah is the weirdest state, man. Utah is just
Oh, come on,
strange.
it's not that weird. New York's weird.
It's like Mars. And yeah, you go in there, you got the salt flats, you got the arches.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
No, it's Tatooine out there, man. It's Tatooine. That's what every time we go to Moab. Every time we go to Moab and we're driving through the desert, we're like, "This is Tatooine. This is exactly what it is."
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like all the other states, you're just in another state, then you hit Utah and you're like, I'm on another planet all of a sudden. What the hell?
Well, it was under ice, like 10 grand years ago. So
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I love it. I love going.
Oh, yeah,
I've been through it, I think,
Utah-
twice, but
some of the slot canyons and some of the caving out there, and some of the hiking. I grew up kind of up in the mountain, working in a mountain town, Telluride, Colorado, which is like a ski town, and that doing construction. And then, but these days, I love the desert. I love the slot canyons, the pinions, the junipers, just getting out there and hiking through arroyos and everything like that. I don't know why, but I just love it.
Wow.
No, I heard you guys talking a little bit about USA and some gun stuff, so I was thought I'd hop in here. I was like, yeah, I know a few things about that.
No. I got the American dreams. I'm from Italy, a little country. I got the American dreams, and I dream about going in the USA. I don't know. I don't care. I am also in nowhere but in the USA, and I'm only scared about the gun things and
that
this. But I don't know. Maybe I speak with the wrong peoples, but
We have a
sometimes
lot of people.
What?
We have a lot of people here. A lot of times we get a little bit of criticism from other countries, like even Australia or several other countries, on our gun laws. And why do you need so many guns? They say, why so many guns? Why so much violence? And I said, well, we have 325 million people. If you look at the average populations of a lot of places that criticize us, they have like a quarter or even a fifth of our population. And it's like, you stick this many people in an area, you're going to have into some issues. And so, not to scare anybody, or not to be weird or anything like that, but by my bedside, clicked in my thing, I carry a gun. It's right. Yeah. Like right by my bedside. And the main reason is that there's I live in a town with about 5,000 people, which are more like 6,000 these days. But in the U.S., where there is a lot of freedom and a lot of freedom and of access to a lot of things, narcotics and everything like that, people get weird, people get crazy, and when you have a family, you grab a spear and you guard the cave door.
Yeah, because you start this like that, because we in Italy we have problems too. We have a lot of problems, criminality, things like that, robbery, and we have a lot. We have mafia, but we have guns law that is more. I don't know. Maybe it's very difficult to get a gun in Italy.
Access to, yeah.
it's very
Hard.
And,
Very hard to get a hold of. Yeah.
And so
I found a gun once. I found a gun on the side of the road. I actually saw a gun on the side of the road like 2 days ago. I don't know if it was
Oh,
a
no.
pellet gun. I just didn't stop. The last time I found a gun on the side of the highway, I
Don't
picked it
take
up.
that
It was a sweet little lever action 22. I had the thing for
Oh,
a
wow.
year. And then I like took it in to get some work done on it, and then it was reported stolen. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna do
Oh,
this
of
again.
course,
So then they
of
took
course.
the gun away from me. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
fell off.
Not
I guess it just
pick up a
fell
side
off
of
the
the
back.
road gun. I would want to
Yeah.
know where it came from.
It just fell off someone's truck, I think. Just on the
Yeah.
highway. I was just driving down the highway and I was like, I passed it and I was like, wait, was that a gun? So I like turned around and just picked it
Yeah,
up. And
flipped
I was
around. Yeah. Yeah.
like,
No, a lot
I
of
don't
people
have
get
any
freaked out
guns
about
anymore.
a lot of people get freaked out about our guns here in the U.S. But the thing I always kind of remind people is like, you know, because they're like, well, Australia did gun control and it worked out just fine. And it's like you're talking about a place that has 1/5 the population of the United States, and it's predominantly white, which means that it makes it easier to, you know, get. Well, I'm not going to say that it, you know, that I'm not trying to play the race or anything like that. I'm just saying that the culture is more mono. It isn't a conglomerate, as much of a conglomerate as the U.S. Whereas here in the U.S., I'm only one state away from the border. We have cartel in our area. Like, I mean, you can go down to Farmington, New Mexico, and hang out in the corner, you know, the parking lot of a Sam's Club, and you'll see cartel down there. Anybody that has nice gold chains, green blazer with the nice pointy boots and the cowboy hat that looks like you can pick, has real sharp sides on it and stuff like that. You're like, that's a cartel guy. and like, so, I mean, you know, and then things do occasionally pop off. When I was a kid, in my hometown, we had you can look it up on the internet, but there was an officer that was killed in a militia attack. His name was Dale Claxton. And, it was actually, you know, it was put out on America's Most Wanted and a couple of other things back in the 90s. But, you know, it basically, you know, yeah, I mean, there was some bad dudes and they ended up taking out a cop and several other things. And people were yucky, you know, they do some rough stuff and that. But, you know, one thing about the whole gun thing is, you know, for guys in that, you know, it is what it is. But I've never understood how women didn't just see this as like the ultimate move for like, yeah, everybody's equal. Like you have a 250-pound guy in front of you that wants to like hurt you in any way. Yeah, the smallest bullet in the world will make him think twice or kill him. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I mean, I think the old phrase here in the West is, God created all men, Samuel Colt made them equal. It was, you know, back when the 6-gun was made. But, you know, and that was that. I mean, it's a big thing. It's as big as, I would say, you know, along with like the invention of the condom or something like that, like being able to get birth control, you know, I mean, being able to, for any person of any stature that can operate their finger, being able to take down a person of larger stature. I don't know if that was available anytime in history.
Nah, I don't know, my friend.
Say, I don't know.
I don't know.
So
It's weird. I don't. So like, I mean, I don't live in Chicago or in Atlanta or anything, but like the gun problem where I live doesn't really seem to be a problem. Like there's just, I mean,
where are you at?
South of me, I'm a little bit north of Chattanooga. So in Chattanooga, there's probably a little bit more of gun violence that happens. Like a bigger city, that's probably bound to happen, I guess. But I mean, where I'm at, it's in the country, and like everybody has a gun, I'm sure, because people have them just for hunting. People just have them for collecting, but nobody really.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a part of life.
There's no violence where I'm at. What?
Yeah, no, it was a strange thing. Like I'll talk to people from other areas, like our friend Brent. Yeah, and how do I say that? Brankia.
My real name is Federico.
Federico. Okay. So like our friend Federico here, you know, he's curious about like the gun thing because where he comes from, it's very hard to get a hold of him. You know, from the time I was a child, I was probably about 9 years old. I remember the first time my dad, you know, held my hands in his hands and taught me how to shoot a rifle. And then, you know, it was rifle pistol club growing up, stuff like that.
You know, my
That's
friend, this is a very bad thing.
right.
This is a very bad thing.
The
I'm
guns?
sorry to say that. But you know, you can know you know guns because I see that you got one,
Yeah,
and you know
yeah.
that sometimes sometimes more of the times gun are bad things, and I can't understand you. Maybe you you got one gun for feel safe yourself,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
so, yeah.
this is a bad way to feel good yourself, you know, I don't in my utopic world I
Mhm.
don't need a gun for feel good myself. And
Are you married? Are you married by chance? Do you have
I
wife
met
or married?
yeah, I have a girlfriend. Yeah,
Do you have
wife.
children?
I think in
No,
I think
no
in
children
everybody's utopic world,
now.
Gotcha.
don't really.
But
Gotcha.
you want to say that I have to protect my family. I
Yeah,
want to.
I just I say for myself like that I feel a responsibility for myself in a heavily populated state and or a heavily populated country and also in an area that when we're out and about, especially traveling, like when we're in the
Yeah,
car and
yeah,
when we have to go places, sometimes you can break down and you're vulnerable. And sometimes I've even had to, we ran out of gas one time or we broke down, and I had to leave my woman in the car, and I had to walk to go get gas or go get help. It made me feel a hell of a lot better that knowing that there was a gun in that car. That if she needed to, she was going to be okay, or that she could be okay. Not saying
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
not saying it's God, not saying that it's going to save everything, but it made me feel a hell of a lot better knowing that she has a weapon. And just like men and women have always had weapons. That's not a new thing. Before this, we had before this we had swords and knives and all sorts of pointy objects. but
Yeah, no, 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 no.
it's
I understand this. I really understand this. But
yeah,
you know that is a problem if you need a gun to feel safe in the world that you born. You know, we don't use guns in Italy. You know,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't feel safe. Maybe someone can punch me in the face. If I go to the pub, so someone can punch me in the face, and okay, I can do nothing. But I don't like
It'll
the kind of word when that you have to have a gun to feel safe. I in my dreams I
yeah,
like
yeah,
a world when where you don't need guns. You
yeah.
It's in all of our
you
dreams.
can
Yeah.
your girlfriend your wife can go to make shoppings without guns. You know, my friend, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
want
no, totally.
in their dreams.
Yeah, that would be the perfect world. It's just that we have to get rid of all the yuckiness inside of humanity, and I don't know if that reality is very close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
only
but
overwork on it.
you having guns, you I don't talking to you specifically, but you
Yeah,
American people having guns cause
Yeah.
more problems. You know, because maybe you see something wrong, you put out your guns and shoot to someone, and maybe he's only a crazy guy that only speaking. You know, I hate
Crazy
gun
American.
for
I'm going to
this
Canada.
because gun it can make you the decision. You can decide to shoot to every anyone, and I don't know. This is a bad thing. I think I want a peaceful world, and you American peoples. I'm not talking to you specifically, but the culture of guns. And wait a second, I like guns. If you wanted to shoot to birds, okay, for me it's okay. I like the gun is a physical, really cool thing. Scientists envelop guns, and is a very cool thing. But I don't like that people have gun. I'm sorry about that.
No,
There's a lot
it's
of
totally fine.
there's a lot of people I know in my area who have the rifles more common because of hunting. There's a lot of hunting here.
Yeah.
My one of my family members, he doesn't like guns because he sees people who are more hobby hunters who don't like. He lives in the north. He eats what he hunts, and he says sometimes you get people that are going out with friends and they don't really know what they're doing. And he would get mad when he would see people coming up from the city, and a couple of times where they'll shoot a deer, but then they don't go and hunt the deer down if it runs off. He said he'd
Yes.
spend days where he'd be not days, but like hours where he'd be tracking the deer and finding it, because he's like, you don't just let an injured deer run. You did this. This is
No.
your responsibility. So you go and deal with it. Put it out of its misery. Don't just, So he has switched to longbow lately. He likes
That's cool.
yeah, that's what he likes for hunting. But the funny thing is, it's not really funny. I mean, like I said, there are more gun incidents that I hear around, but not a ton of them. But in the last 5-10 years, we've had two incidents lately where people got in their vehicles and plowed into people. So I'm like,
Wow.
you can't even use a gun against that. What are you honestly going to do? Those are the things, like growing up around
Wow.
cities and stuff, that I've thought about is, if somebody has a moment where they just snap, every car on the road is potentially a weapon.
Yeah, like up in your area, do you have any problem with methamphetamines or like per se like something like bath salts? Have you ever heard of those?
I don't know about bath salts. I know there's a lot of there are some drug issues, and the drug issues are going further north. I was like, I excuse me, I lost my partner a few years ago, and he was a teacher. He would go and teach in the indigenous communities, and I've got a few places that I'm watching. I remember one spot a few years back where they were so excited they were actually going to get a road into the community, and
Oh,
of
wow.
course, it's not even like a month after the road opens up, and the drug guys are there, and the guys looking for, like getting into prostitution and stuff. And they're like,
Yeah.
why did we want this road? Like.
Well, that's the thing. You connect. Sorry, Jason, what were you gonna say?
No, that's it.
nothing. I was just like, what the heck?
Yeah. No, the more, and that's the thing is like a USA is heavily connected. It's heavily connected with every other part of itself. It's a network, and it's like we have everything from railroads to shipping ways, highways that are made specifically so a truck can get from one end of the country to the other end of the country very quickly. And and it doesn't just go east west; it goes north south. And so, and we have a very, not in all parts of the country, but in most parts of the country, the cities are dense. They're very heavily populated, and then the areas in between are, sparsely populated. And so, like I said, we get a lot of criticism from our fellow countries, like Australia, like Canada. But I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, I think it goes like India, China, or possibly Africa, and then like us, the U.S., and then and then the rest of the world. And so to compare us or try to figure out like, oh yeah, like they're doing it wrong. I don't disagree. We have a lot of problems with our country, like a lot of problems in that, but it has to do with the amount of people. More people, more problems. Just like you figured out, you plug a road into it. Next thing you know, you got the drug guys showing up. You got all these, and I live in a part of the world that has not been populated for that very long. The town I live in was founded in like 1860 or something like that. So like in Italy, where our buddy pardon me, what was it?
And don't worry. My name is Federico. You can call me Fred.
Federico.
Call me Fred.
Sorry. But Federico is from, Italy has been inhabited, populated, and the government has been, honing both the government and the people and the culture have been honing themselves for a very long time. And in my area of the woods, we got a whole lot of frontiersmen, trappers, native indigenous, corporations, along with industry and government. You throw that all into a pot, and you get something like the U.S. It's just that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. We in Italy, we are less people than America. Okay, but think about Rome. In Rome, they have guns problems also. Is not, but I am dreaming about a world without guns. This is trust issues. This is trust issues.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't trust my. And here in America, we don't necessarily trust. You're right. You're absolutely right that we do not necessarily trust our neighbors. It's a relationship of, in smaller towns, yes, you will have much more community and things like this. But in America, yeah, I mean, we have a very dense population, and we only sprang up, basically like 250 years ago. Like, we're not that old. We're really not that old. And, and so like we, everything you see playing out in America, it is controlled chaos. It really is. And I mean, like I mean, yeah, it's interesting to be in and look at, see how the rest of the world sees us. But no, have I ever had to use a gun? No. Have I ever had to pull a gun? No. Have I been in a fight? Not one. I got myself in one. It was not one that was, I couldn't have walked away from, or anything like that. And most of the times when I did get into a tussle, it was because I was at a bar too late at night and somebody said something stupid, and so it was, and so the situations you're describing, yes, they can be avoided. However, I do live in a country.
You got big trust issues. I'm sorry for that, but because also, also me, when I go to a pub in Italy, maybe if, too much people, I don't know who is these people. Maybe someone is crazy and he want to punch me in the face. But if he's free to have a gun, maybe the crazy guy is free to have a gun. This is a problem,
No, and I mean, even when I go,
you can have a gun, but if you give the freedom to have gun to also the crazy people, is a problem for me. I don't want to speak for Italy because I'm only myself. I'm Federico, and this is my idea.
Federico, I think it's probably a problem everywhere to give guns to crazy people. I'm right with your utopia. I like your idea of utopia. In a place where we trust each other, we don't need guns, we don't need violence.
I agree.
It sounds good to me, man. I think we're all yeah, for that, for sure. And nobody wants
Except
crazy
for those,
big guns,
except for
even
the
if
poor
it's-
people who can't hit anything with a longbow, and they're going to starve, and that's going to suck. But you know, the sacrifices that have to be made. My dad used
No,
to tell me.
we
He
all
said,
eat
you know,
grass.
he said,
in
you know,
India.
yeah, no. My dad used to say. He says, you know what the Native American word for archery hunter is? And we say, oh, I don't know what. He said, vegetarian.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no. No, I mean we all dream of the better place where these where certain things are not necessary and or even thought of, but
Yeah,
we aren't there yet, and it is wrong to rush the idea of utopia because we must remember Hitler. One of his biggest things was gun control. You know that he said, you know, that was one of his very first mandates when he gained a lot of control. He said, we're going to be progressive, we're going to lead the world in our utopia where we don't need these guns because we're going to get rid of all the people that cause the problem. And so then, you know, the
Everybody
extermination
knows more
started.
history than me. How do you know that?
What's that?
I said everybody knows more history than me. I didn't know
Oh
that.
no, that's a common bumper sticker around where I live. They said it gives the speech where Hitler gave that, and then it doesn't say that it's from Hitler till the very end. Hyphen Adolf Hitler, and because you would think it's a speech by Obama or something like that, but you have to remember control often comes from the left, and it is, and just like in history, Hitler was a leftist. He was progressive. And so the
Canadian, because I always think of more the conservative side here as being more controlling and wanting things more. And I'm kind of like, I don't know my right from left anymore because I talk to too many Americans, and I'm like, I'm going, well, I know how to get from point A to point B, but don't ask me if it's right or left anymore because I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a strange. What's that?
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say it's a strange thing that happens, but even in the slavery was a democratic thing. That was something that the Democrats had a heavy hand in, and then even looking at the how it was abolished in England, but it was kept alive in the U.S. in large parts by Democrats.
I saw this morning. Okay, so like how the Google and Facebook, they're always feeding you stuff. So
yeah,
I was looking it up for something else. So we have a list from one of the local TV stations for Canada, some of the new laws, that they're rolling out for 2024, and some of them are normal things like, so they're bringing in a new dental thing and tax reform and other stuff. And then I get down to stricter bail law, and I'm like, stricter bail law? When did this happen? And right below it says modern slavery law requirements. And I'm like, whoa, because there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problem with what's the other word for it? But it lists as being, let me see, how do they list it? New law fighting use of child or forced labor. But I also know there's a lot of people trying to any human trafficking. There's a lot of issue in my area where we'll have young girls coming into the store, and you're kind of like watching some of the people they're with, and I'm like, and I know there's groups in my area, which feels so random because I keep thinking, this is like your basic small outside the city area basic thing, but we have a big problem with human trafficking between here and London, Ontario. And I'm like, and up north, anywhere up north, and anybody that comes from the Indigenous places down to any of the major
reservations. It's big on the reservations because those people aren't accounted for and they're uneducated. They'll go out to the reservations. They'll drug a handful of girls. They'll load them up in vans and run them out. It's a big deal. There's a whole campaign about finding missing Indigenous women here in the U.S.
I did not know that because I have friends bugging me about that because we talk about that in Canada. And I write poetry and other basic stuff. And one of the ladies that I know through a writing group used to work for the CBC and also does writing and things. And that was one of the stories she wrote recently was a story on an experience that she went through. She lives in the Northwest Territories, has done for decades. And she wrote about the experience that she went through, which was really funny because she was taking this, I'll say possessed cat. There was something about this cat that her sister asked her to take. Anyways, so there was an incident because she took a ride from somebody. It ended well on the one hand because she got out of the vehicle. The cat stayed in the vehicle.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was going like down the road.
Yeah.
Apparently this cat used to randomly attack people just because it wanted to.
Well,
But
maybe it was a guardian
part
angel.
of the story, she based it off of a place where they had, and it may be gone in the fires from this summer, but a monument set up to one of the people that was missing and murdered. And so it kind of stayed in her head because this is where they were when stuff happened. And I think to myself, I know really normal people. And these are the stories they write. Like I literally know very normal people, you know? And with guns, the sad thing, my son and I were talking a few years back, in the middle of COVID, when everybody was talking defund the police, because my oldest son is autistic and deaf, and he has some behavioral issues, and he would go through phases of attacking me before I left my ex. And my younger son and I were, when we would watch news, he calls me this one day, and there was somebody that got pulled over out west, one of the western provinces, and she called her husband, who came, and he got arrested for saying to the officers, like, seriously. And my son called me all upset, and he goes, Mom, this is why I never called the police when Dad would get Jacob upset with you. And I'm thinking, so I'm like, yes, this is a gun conversation, but I'm like,
wow.
People with actual mental health things here. There's a young man used to shop where I work, and he got shot by police a while ago, 2 years ago, and his family was nice young man, but he had mental health issues. And you just kind of like don't force yourself into his face. All they did was call for a wellness check. He's gone. You know, so like guns are a weird thing. And
They are. It's really
weird.
often like cops in general. Like, because I mean, even in Italy, where Federico's from, you know, the cops carry guns, and so you know the normal citizens don't. But it's an issue.
They never use guns. Sometimes, you know, we also in Italy we got problems with cops that going we call abuse of power. When you have the power and you abuse your power, we got this kind of problems. But in the majority, we don't have these problems. You know, if we have good cops and they never use guns. They use guns only if is very requested. But the cops in Italy don't use guns. You know, maybe the taser, but you know. We don't have this kind of problems. I'm glad about this because I'm not never you know, my father go under arrest when sometimes some years ago but they do that, uh, mm, slowly. I don't know how to explain that, but oh my god, guys, I'm sorry for you American people, but you have a lot of problems. You have a lot of problems. I'm sorry for this.
Well, when
Maybe
we
I
get
think
to the
that
same population that we have, population density we have, you'll have a lot of problems too.
I have a
yeah,
question.
yeah.
for you.
We got a lot of problems, but it's not that kind of problems, If I have friends and a lot of friends, and we got arrested sometimes, but no one put a gun on me, never. And I like this. For my
question.
country. I like that no one never put a weapon against me, because maybe I can smoke some weed, do some drugs, but no one put a gun in my head, and I like this. I'm sorry, maybe is I'm talking about shit. I'm is generalizing. I don't want to generalize the situation, but I'm very scared of my American dream, because I really like America for all the things, but these things very scare me.
Yeah,
You
it's
come
not.
to
It's not bad.
America.
You can come to America. It's not bad. It is
Yeah.
blown out of proportion. It's all right. I don't have a gun. You can come stay with me. We'll hang out.
Mhm.
I live with my parents. We can just hang out in the hot tub. East Tennessee.
Play
We'll hang out in the
banjo.
mountains. Yeah, play the banjo. It's all right. I do have a question though for you. I heard, this is probably just a rumor, but I heard somewhere that Italy was wanting people to move there, so like you could actually move there very cheaply. Is that true?
Move? No, I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Is Italy trying to have immigration into the country? Are they asking people come
Yeah.
to Italy?
And move to
No,
immigrate to Italy? No,
it's
okay.
not.
It is just a rumor.
It's not true. There are many people that say no, too much immigration. I don't care about this. If someone wanted to immigrate in my country, I am maybe happy, because
Did,
maybe my country is good for immigrate for
There goes my Italian
immigration.
dream.
So
in your country, there was an immigration problem a couple of years ago. Lots of people concentrated in an area. Did they put them in a camp? Is that right?
yeah, but this is a
What
real
did they call
problem.
that camp? What did the police call that camp?
What did they call? We call that camp.
Yeah. What
We
did
we
they
have
call the camp? The camp
we
where they
have
immigrated.
more camp.
Yeah, what did they
Lampedusa.
you call? I heard they called them the jungle.
Okay. We call immigration points. We got immigration points.
Is it rules in these area? Law and order?
Man, I want to go to the jungle.
Is in the south of the.
Look it up on YouTube. It's rough, bro.
I just
No.
got back from India. I like the jungle.
No, India is a
Oh,
animal. That's a cool. India's got a history of immigration, and they've been fighting their battles. But they got a. All I'm saying is that population density with immigration, and it depends. Every place is different. Like Germany, Italy, even in Africa, it depends on where you're coming from and how many immigrants you have and where they're coming from and their cultural backgrounds. That's all I'm saying is that population density. To me, one of the biggest things to get to Frederico's utopia is to cap the size of people that can exist in a certain area at any given time. meaning that after
Okay.
you reach a population density of a certain level, cap it, meaning that like, okay, we are fully occupied in this area. You're going to have to go someplace else. Now, we don't do that here in the U.S., and I think we should, because a lot of our cities, once they become overpopulated, that's when a lot of these violence problems start. And a lot of the underground drug trades, a lot of the underground human trafficking, and so on. It has to do with as the population increases to a certain density, the police are ineffective, and so you have to turn to an authoritarian, more government to control it. So if you simply cap the size of a city at a certain level, I would probably say for every like 5 mile by 5 mile area, don't have any more than 5,000 people in that area. You know, because it's going to become so dense, you won't be. It becomes too clustered, and I don't think it becomes healthy for the people existing in that area. Plus, there's no choice after a certain amount of people exist in an area than to cover it up with concrete. You have no room for green spaces.
Okay.
You run out of trees. You run out of parks.
I don't know. I don't know how Italy is dense of population. You know, I don't know the fact. I don't know the date of the. You know, maybe Italy is
It looks
very
like
dense
you have
population.
Yeah. As of 2021, it looks like you guys had about 60 million people. Okay, so just to put that in,
it's not dense.
Just to put it in perspective, in America.
In
Oh,
America? No.
you just cut out. We lost you.
We lost the truth.
Yeah, frozen.
I don't know. Bye, Josh. Well, get out your voting cards. Heard it here tonight.
You're voting? You think
But
you're voting?
anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have
Don't
to go
apologize.
because not for the discuss. I really appreciate the discussion, but I really have to go. And thank you for hosting me, my friend Jason. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the discussion, Sandy.
Yeah.
Thank you. And say thank you also to Josh if he come back. And goodbye and good night.
Yeah, please come back. Hang around. We'd love to see
I
you
will.
again.
I will. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
Night.
All right. Well, that was interesting.
That was interesting, and that was a long conversation at the beginning about music too. That was fun.
Yeah, not expecting that to take a turn into gun control, but well, there you have it, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could talk about that forever, I guess.
I don't hunting, and I definitely don't hunt.
You what?
I don't hunt.
I don't
My
either.
sister tried to learn, but she, when she got married, her husband bought her a little rifle because he likes to go hunting. He thought, oh, great, this is something we'll do together. And she says it banged into her shoulder one time. And she's like, I don't think I like hunting. She's like, she was bruised for a week. And she's like, no, she teaches piano. She says, sorry, I need my.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you froze.
Yeah, he's back. Well, I probably got to head out anyway too, so I'm probably gonna hop off here. Sandy, are you able to keep the stream going or no?
Nope.
I don't know if you have. Oh, you aren't.
I am not on Jacob's admin on Jacob's channel. He will not let me. He says I would be on it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Well,
nice chatting with you, Josh.
What's that?
Yeah, thanks.
It was nice talking with you. Come back sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Might catch Father Eric's stream later on or something like that.
You hang out with Father Eric
tonight?
Yeah. No, I think we and you hopped in on one with Mark.
Okay.
With
yeah.
Mark.
I think
Mark
like
is
2
so
weeks ago.
intimidating. I've never spoken to him. How'd that go? Mark, the bald Mark, right? What's his last name?
Yeah. Oh no,
yeah.
Mark's not intimidating. He's very open.
Yeah, I've never spoken to him.
I will tell you something.
Scared.
terrible.
I'm
Mark
properly
is
scared.
definitely intimidating, but he doesn't scare me as much as PVK.
Really? Yeah, I know you said
Awesome.
PVK scares you. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's because he's Dutch. He
Yeah.
kind of has some
'Cause
of
he's
those
Dutch.
It's 'cause my ex was Dutch.
Okay.
You know, and he laughs at things in weird places, and I'm like, okay,
does do
this
that,
should
actually,
not
don't
be
you?
bothering me, but
Yeah,
it is.
no, PVK.
I do that.
It's just this is why I encourage people to at least get to like. I mean, everybody's on the Jordan Big Five personality test, but I encourage people to get to know the MBTI 16 personalities at least a little bit, because I see it at play a lot in this little corner where I can see PVK, and he's just people. He's people all day long. Like he doesn't really care where you're coming from or anything like that. He's like, let's talk and let's just connect. He's all about connection, and let's get into the meat and bones of person to person. Whereas Mark is very, very heady. Like he's well, and it makes sense because of his job and everything like that. And he like I don't know if you saw. Did you happen to see the Jordan Peterson Sam Harris combo?
Not isn't there like a newer, more recent one or something? Or are you talking about the old one?
Yeah, one more recent than the old one, because they did an initial debate that took place like 2 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, whatever it was, and it was moderated by Brett Weinstein, not Eric. And yeah, and they like everybody gave Jordan massive poo-poos because because Jordan, like, he doesn't want to get off a topic until he understands we're on the same page about this. Like we're at least talking about the same thing. And they could not get on the same page when it came to good and evil, because Sam is using good and evil and things like spirit and all these types of words, yet he gives no accreditation to religious movements like the church, like, you know, like for instance the Catholic Church or like have you ever come across Tom Holland's book Dominion? PVK references it a lot.
Heard of it, haven't read it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can read it if you want, but basically the long and short of it is that our idea in the Western world, Canada included, but our ideas in the Western world are inherited and built upon. Those are not inherent. The ideas that we have inside of us of good and evil are not inherent, meaning that like our parents taught us certain things, but our ideas of no stealing, like lying is bad, like cheating on your wife is bad, like those types of things are not inherent in the human. That's not something that a human just naturally thinks this is bad. Now we are inside of a matrix because of our culture, and it's very hard to see outside that matrix, but it's almost like Sam is in the matrix going like, yeah, no, I'm a good person. And it's like, well, where did you get this word good? And why do you think you're good? Especially when in philosophical terms. And he will vehemently go against religion, but gives it no accreditation for the fact that the very ideas of good and evil calling upon come from those religions. And so it's like biting the hand that fed you. And so, and that's what Jordan was not willing to give up on in the first debate. I mean, if as far back as I remember, and also they just couldn't agree on a couple of other terms, and people felt like Jordan was picking it, you know, just trying to count hairs or splitting hairs. That's what I was trying to say. It felt like Jordan was splitting hairs, and it became an exhaustive debate. This time, Jordan kept his mouth shut quite a bit, and almost to the frustration of the audience, because like Mark was like, Jordan, what the hell? Like, speak up. like what the hell? He's got you on, you know, you're like on the ropes and you're just getting the crap kicked at, you know. And no, Jordan was giving him enough rope to hang himself, but he wasn't really doing it maliciously. He was like Mark says, like Sam had never actually thought about these things out loud. You could just tell, like because he would say things that you're like, did you really, have you ever thought about that, bro? Like, you just said that out loud, and you're a critical thinker and a philosopher or whatever, and that. But have you ever thought about these concepts? Like, really, like, where did you get your concept of good and evil? Like, like, where does that come from? And these are not inherent concepts. We can find it when we go to the indigenous cultures, like the Sentinel Island people, or we go to.
Are you having to go? You were saying earlier you were trying to
I'm
set
sorry,
up
Jason,
a
I'm sorry.
music thing.
Me? Yeah, I probably gotta go soon. Yeah, sorry, but
No, it's just because earlier
Anyway.
you said you were texting because you're trying to book a music thing.
yeah, I was looking at my phone too. Yeah, I think not this weekend, the 13th, whatever. Not this weekend, next weekend. I think we're booking a show, so we're trying to organize that. We're basically having to find 2 other bands to play with us, or 2 other artists. So yeah, I was just checking my text because we're going back and forth on that. But well, yeah,
Very cool.
I'm probably gonna hop off here though. But anyway,
Yeah.
sorry guys.
No, you
No,
were
you're
saying
just
that.
fine.
So
All
do you
good.
think Eric will be on tonight? He wasn't on the weekend.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know, Eric, Father Eric. I don't know when the next time he'll be on. I seem to remember him saying something about next time I stream it'll be in the new year, so maybe in the next couple days, or maybe he might just wait till next Sunday. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been fun chatting with you both.
Yeah,
Very,
thanks,
very-
thanks both of you. Y'all have a great night.
Will do.
Hey, you do the same, brother.
Bye.
Okay.